Can you explain a bit about how the Airbnb search algorithm actually works? Because I guess, how does making those changes, how does that relate to more views?
Yeah. Intellihost takes your entire search performance and visualizes it for you. So people focus a lot on rank, which is a
Mm-hmm.
good thing to do, but it's really only one of the four things that matter when it comes to
Okay.
getting a booking. Okay. So there's really four steps that every guest takes in order to do that. And the first one is called impressions, meaning just getting in the search in the first place. That's an impression. And getting an impression is all about appearing in filters. So if you don't have pets allowed and you don't have your pool listed, well, people who are searching for pool will not see you if you don't have pool in your description somewhere, right? And so just getting in the search is step number one. And then step number two is the rank part, getting on the first page of that search. Then step three is somebody actually clicking on your listing. So you could be on first page every single time, but if you're not presenting a really good product, no one's going to click on you. And so understanding how your performance is compared to your competition in each of those steps, so you can diagnose the step that's the problem. And that's what Intellhost does, is it really just opens up your booking funnel and shows you where your customers are dropping off so that you can diagnose it. And then the last step is conversion. So after somebody's actually clicked and opened up your listing, are they converting? Are they making that final step and actually, booking the ninth? And that's what we focus on. But to answer your question, like, how does the ranking algorithm work? I can dig into that a little bit more. I mean, nobody truly knows every detail of it. But we have, with the numbers, been able to find a lot of things that work and a lot of things that don't. There's a lot of theories out there about what works and what doesn't, and we're here to bust a lot of those myths. For example, I don't know if you've heard the myth that making constant changes to your listing actually increases your rank.
Yeah, that's a big one out there, that if you tweak it, and add a few pictures, change your listing description, change your pricing daily, that it pops you up in the search algorithm.
So that may have been the case at some point, but what I can tell you is last week we ran an analysis on over 2,000 properties that made a minor change. Between those 2,000 properties, we analyzed over 5,000 changes that were made, minor changes, and analyzed the impact that those changes had on their rank, and found a 0% impact.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, if you really, we're trying to debunk a lot of these things. People spend so much time and effort trying to improve their listing doing it. They just don't matter. So yeah, there's a lot of things like that.
Why is it that, I mean, isn't the whole premise of Intellihhost to tell you what changes to make? So the changes do impact performance, but you're saying there's small changes don't. It has to be something big, or what's the difference between the changes that you're making in those four steps you just laid out compared to the small tweaks people were making in the 2000 study, or the 2000 Airbnb study?
Yeah, so the small tweaks that people are making could be helping. They're just not helping your rank. So for example, tweaking your cover photo will help your click rate, but it's not going to help your rank. Tweaking your title might make somebody click on you, but it's not going to help your rank.
Got it.
Changing your photo order might help your conversion, but it's not going to help your rank. And so again, knowing what levers to pull for the step you're struggling with is what's so important. But yeah, one of the other theories, I'm trying to think of one. Oh, emojis in the title. What do you think?
Yeah.
Help or don't help?
I've struggled with this one because supposedly they say that they're illegal. Airbnb says they're illegal. Yep. Tons of them have it. I've heard that it does help, but I've never used it myself.
Yeah. So the argument is, does Airbnb penalize your rank for having emojis in the title? Because it's against the policy. So you would think that they would penalize people for breaking the policy. But again, we ran the numbers on this one and saw, well, technically the stats show that it was a 1% increase in rank as a result of emojis. Now, 1%, that's pretty, like, technically, according to the stats, that is accurate, but it could just be that the people that are using emojis generally are more optimized or have a better rank. So do you take that into consideration? But people that think that people are clicking on those listings more because they stand out.
Mm-hmm.
But we actually saw a 0% impact on click rate as a result of emojis.
Got it.
So
Okay.
there's people do not click on properties with emojis more than the ones without emojis.
Okay. Interesting. So,
Yeah.
so you break down with Intellihost, you'll break down for each of these 4 steps. You'll say, here are the things that we recommend that is going to boost your impressions, boost your rank, boost the quality. Yeah. And is that accurate? I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. For example, if you're having a click rate problem, it means that people are seeing you on first page, but they're not clicking on you for some reason. 90% of the time, that's just a cover photo problem. You just don't have the right cover photo on your listing. But so many people are tweaking their cover photo when the problem is conversion, meaning they're actually getting tons of clicks, but they're actually have a really bad cancellation policy and people just aren't checking out. So that's why it's so important to break down the steps so that you're not tweaking things that don't matter or actually doing more damage than good.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Because there's so many variables that you can change on Airbnb. It's so hard to know. A lot of times it's kind of guesswork on, like you mentioned, that the cancellation policy. You've got, I think, like 6 different options. And so you obviously want to have the most stringent because you don't want people canceling at the last minute, but you don't want to be ranked all the way at the bottom as a result. So you're kind of like trying to feel your way through it and say, well, this one is like a compromise or feels like a compromise. When it comes to something like that, how do you, so you've just tested all these different listings and you can say, here's the cancellation policy that makes the most sense?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the area, right? But
okay.
We have the numbers, right? We're collecting true source data straight from your Airbnb account, and we're doing that for thousands and thousands of listings. So we can actually run the data and the stats on it and say, statistically, with a 90% confidence level, we can predict that a super strict cancellation policy will have X impact on your listing. Now, again, that's really dependent on the area. Some areas are really competitive and they only do strict policies, and it really just depends. But everyone kind of puts everything in the same bucket of rank. They're like, oh, well, that helps. Did that cancellation policy help your rank? Well, the truth is, or the most likely scenario is, didn't really have any effect on your rank. It didn't affect people seeing your listing, but it might affect them actually booking your listing when they actually go to check out and it says no cancellation policy. That's going to affect your conversion. And so a lot of the things that you can tweak and affect are on your detail page. I mean, people don't even see that stuff until after they've clicked on you. You've already gotten through the first 3 steps. And there's just a ton of stuff on that detail page, like your photo order and every single caption and all the description stuff and your checkout instructions. And like, there's just so much on that page that you don't want to tweak all of that if it's not actually making a difference. Like if you're having a top of funnel issue and you're just not even appearing in filters, well, don't worry about your photo order. Like that's not gonna make a difference. You've got to make sure that you're appearing in the right filters. And because you got to start at the top of the funnel.